Here's a quick overview of our spring flood potential for southern Montana and northern Wyoming from the National Weather Service in Billings. The observed conditions and outlook are dated April 24th of 2018. Please check our website for the very latest information as the spring progresses. Snowpack observations from the Natural Resources and Conservation Service network indicate above normal snowpack feeding all of our river basins across Montana and northern Wyoming. Many observations across Montana are above or near record levels for this time of year. For this report, we'll focus on the upper Yellowstone River Basin, where water levels in the snowpack are around 170% of normal, and the flood potential is the greatest. High mountain snowpack alone does not always equal flooding. History shows that a high mountain snowpack will lead to extended high flows, significant bank erosion, and localized flooding. However, if you add heavy spring rainfall on top of the higher flows, this is what will produce the greatest magnitude of flooding and more significant impacts. Therefore, we will be watching our short-term forecast trends closely. As we finish out our spring, we will be closely monitoring the changes in the mountain snowpack, rate of spring warming, as well as temperature and precipitation trends. A rapid transition and extended period of well above normal temperatures would accelerate the melting and increase the flood threat. Monitor those days when the lower elevations start to warm well into the 70s or 80s for several days in a row, as this will translate to increased snowmelt in the mountains and increased flows in our rivers. Given the current high snowpack in the upper Yellowstone River Basin, this is the area of greatest threat for flooding this spring for south central Montana. While most area river levels will typically see a gradual rise in river levels through May, the highest flows are typically experienced in late May into June. With these highest flows, the highest flood threat will be in the Clark's Fork of the Yellowstone River and upper portions of the Yellowstone River near Livingston. For areas near the confluence of the Clark's Fork and the main stem Yellowstone River, it's that area south of Laurel, flood impacts can be common and stream levels will need to be monitored closely. This includes the flood-prone area around Byam Road. For those with interest along area rivers, now is the time to prepare. Consider flood insurance, have an emergency plan in place, move livestock and equipment to higher ground, know how you will get your warnings and forecast, and know what and what not to do when you encounter a flood. The latest forecasts and warnings can be found at weather.gov. For preparedness materials, a flood resource page can be found at weather.gov/safety/flood. Finally, flooding is dangerous and claims many lives each year. If you see flooding, report it to the National Weather Service, County Emergency Management, or your local law enforcement.